Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is the first episode of a new series where I see if I can draw with things that aren't typically used for art. Right now I'm calling it, Can I Draw on This? Since I'm seeing if I can actually draw on these various things. In this episode, I'm gonna be trying to draw on my Nintendo Switch. The application I'm using is called Colors Live. I actually contributed to the Kickstarter for this, so I got early access to it and got to try the beta, and they sent me a special pen for it. I'm gonna be trying out that pen and also a smartphone stylus that came with my Super Mario Maker game. We'll see how these both work. Also, sorry if the camera angle is kinda weird in this. I didn't know how I was gonna set up the tripod, and it turns out this tripod doesn't work well the way I wanted to set it up. I should have planned ahead better, but I didn't. So the next episode will be better, since I now know how I want to set everything up. Anyway, I'm gonna try out the stylus that came with the game first. I had a hard time getting this to connect. From what I heard, people with a first edition Switch have problems getting the pen to connect for some reason. I actually pre-ordered my Switch and got it at launch back in 2017, so mine is definitely a first edition, which explains why it took me like 10 minutes to get the stylus to finally connect. I wanted to try out the smartphone stylus too, but I guess it doesn't work when the other pen is plugged in, which is weird because sometimes my hand would touch the screen and put random dots on it. I didn't feel like unplugging the pen and having to reconnect it again, so stay tuned until the end of the video to see how well the smartphone stylus works on this. After testing the stylus and multiple brushes, it's now time to actually draw something. So in this series, I'm first gonna test out the different features and see where everything is and what all the buttons do. And not only am I gonna be trying to draw something on whatever it is I'm trying to draw on, but I'm also gonna be giving it a rating based on whether or not I can actually use this to draw art on. These are the rules of the game. Each category I'll give it a rating 1 to 5. 1 meaning it's garbage and 5 meaning it works perfectly. The categories are hardware, where I will rate whatever it is I'm trying to draw on, how practical it is, and if it's something I can easily use to make art on. Software, or the program itself I'm using to draw on. Here I will rate how easy the program is to navigate and use. If I touch my pen to the screen and the program immediately just craps its pants, then it gets a 1 out of 5 for software. Controls, the placement of the buttons, for example whether or not the undo button is in a stupid place. Tools, or the various tool options it has, such as options for brushes, number of layers, or other useful features. Saving, how easy it is to save and export your art. And I'll also have cost, how much does the hardware and software cost. This one won't get a rating, but I'll just have the price in US dollars for those interested. Anyway, I had a hard time getting used to the controls. I was not used to this, so I kept accidentally pressing the wrong thing. This drawing ended up taking way longer than I would have liked because of that. It was rough. Also, my hand kept touching the screen and making random dots on it. This is supposed to have palm rejection, but it doesn't seem to work as well as I would like. And now for the rating. For hardware, the palm rejection doesn't work that well. Like I said before, when I rest my hand on the screen it puts random marks on it, which is inconvenient. Maybe if I usually draw with an iPad or some other tablet with a similar screen it would be easier, because I would be used to it, but this was annoying. But other than that, the portability of the hardware is good. It's small so you could take it anywhere and draw, so hardware gets a 4 out of 5. For software, There is still some bugs in it. I'm sure they will be fixed at some point though, but right now I've noticed the brush and eraser size doesn't save when I switch tools. I had to keep changing the brush size back to how I had it before when I would erase something and then switch back to the brush. Also, the pen for the software doesn't connect to my Switch that well, and sometimes I have to press hard to get it to register on the screen. So right now I give software a 3 out of 5. For controls, I think the buttons are in pretty convenient places. It's a gaming console, so everything is supposed to be easy to press. It does take some getting used to though. But the way you change the brush and eraser size is on a slider. There is not a point size. So it's hard to get the brush the exact same size every time. So I give controls a 4 out of 5. For tools, you have 3 brushes and an eraser that are easy to access. If you want to use any of the other ones, you have to press the plus sign to view more. I believe you can choose which ones you want to have out, but I haven't tried that yet. There's also a pixel brush and eraser, and I didn't notice until after the drawing was finished that there is an option to select and move stuff, so that's pretty cool. You can also use layers in this game. It looks like it lets you have up to 10 layers. That doesn't sound like a lot, but a maximum of 10 layers was enough for this drawing though. Also, there isn't a paint bucket tool, so I had to color everything by hand, which can take a really long time depending on what I'm drawing. This drawing was simple, so it didn't take as long, but it still took longer than it usually takes me. So I think I give tools a 3 out of 5. For saving your art, it looks like exporting it saves it to the Switch's SD card, so you probably can put the SD card in a computer to get the files off. But I could never get the SD card slot on any computer to work. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. So whenever I use an SD card, I have to put it in my digital camera and plug that into the computer to get my files. Not that convenient. I also saw you can upload to Twitter and Facebook from the game, and it also lets you export a video file of the time-lapse of the drawing. I haven't tried that yet, but it looks interesting, so I might try it later. I'm giving saving a 3 out of 5, just because it's inconvenient for me when I have to get a separate device to plug into my computer to get files off an SD card. So the total score I give is 17 out of 25. That's a 68%. So not a failing grade, but let me make it clear this is from an artist's point of view. This is just my personal opinion. Most of my complaints are just from what I'm used to using to draw digital art. If you have a Nintendo Switch and you want to get into digital art, and you aren't able to spend a ton of money on drawing tablets and computer software, or maybe you are a professional artist and you want a small tablet to draw on when you're away from home, then I think this is a great option for you. When I first got into digital art, I was actually using Colors 3D on my 3DS, not counting messing around in MS Paint with a computer mouse. I had an original 3DS, so the screen was tiny. I always had to zoom in so far to see what I was doing. I don't know how I drew like that for years. I'll probably be also doing an episode on the 3DS, so you should subscribe if you want to see that when that comes out. I don't know if it'll be the next episode, but I'm gonna do it sometime soon. Anyway, if this game seems like it would be a good option for you to make digital art, then I think you should try it. It takes some getting used to, but I think it could be a good piece of software for drawing. So now for the cost. If you already have a Switch or Switch Lite, Just Colors Live will be about $50 US. I paid about $42 for mine, because I got mine from the Kickstarter, but from what I saw, the game will be about $50 when it's released to the public. I think that will be September of this year. But if you don't already have a Switch and you want to get one just for drawing, then you will be paying about $250 to $350 US, depending on if you wanted to get a regular Switch or a Switch Lite. A regular Switch is about $300 and a Switch Lite is about $200. Overall, this was rough. My line art was shaky. I'm not used to drawing on a tablet like this, and I had to hold the Switch at such an awkward angle so it can be easily seen on the camera. I also didn't have my color swatches, so I had to guess what colors I usually use. I think I got it pretty close though. Also, my left hand started to hurt after a while and I had to set the Switch down, which made it hard to press the buttons. I think if I ever use this again, I'll detach the controllers. So after trying both pens, I don't really like one more than the other. I don't really like drawing with either of them. I prefer my stylus to have a point on it like a pencil. For years I wanted to get a phone stylus that is skinny like a pencil, with the rubber end being very small, but I was never able to find something like that. I don't know. I feel like the angle I had to hold the Switch at was the hardest part of this though. Maybe I'll remake this video in the future, since I actually know how to set up the camera now. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, and if you want to see more videos like this and other art related videos, you can subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I upload next. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.